Right. So, let's get to the news. All right. Let's start with business and markets. I have no idea why my phone does not want to stay up. I do not care anymore. You guys can see me. So, oh well. So, Alphabet, Google's parent company, is eliminating 12,000 jobs, or 6% of its workforce. And that's just the latest in a bunch of layoffs. Let's see. What does it say? Alphabet, whose shares rose 3% in pre-market trading, is making the cuts just as the U.S. company confronts a threat to its long-held perch atop the technology sector. Okie dokie. So I guess that means that they're another douche company that, oh yeah, we're making record profits, but we're going to, make it seem like we're cutting cost because we just want to make more money and not give it to the people who actually work for us. That's how I read it. All right. Let's see. Tesla chief executive Elon Musk is likely to be called today to testify in a jury trial of his 2018 tweet that he had funding secured to take the electric car maker private, which shareholders allege cost them millions in trading losses. On the one hand, Elon is a dick. This whole Twitter debacle has proven that. On the other hand, super rich shareholders losing millions. Is there really someone to root for here? Not really. Not at all. Not at all. Alright, let's see. Netflix co-founder Reed Hastings stepped down as chief executive, handing the reins to longtime partner and co-CEO Ted Sarandos and chief operating officer Greg Peters. So now we'll see if there's anything else that's gonna happen at Netflix. They already seem to be struggling to stay afloat. It doesn't hurt that they pulled out of Russia because, well, the Kremlin are being dicks and invading a sovereign country, so I don't know how much that affected their bottom line, or maybe they're just trying to make it seem like that wasn't a huge cause of the decline. Let's see. Global stocks were set for their first weekly loss of the year so far, as a rally driven by hopes of China fueling a global economic recovery was tempered by central bankers vowing to persist with rate hikes. So, great. Let's see. What else? Davos is still happening. I don't generally do speculation, but since Britain is a bit of a shit show politically right now, because the Tories are just a little bit better than our Republicans. The only thing that the Tories are maybe slightly less insane. There's still allowed to be sanity in the Tory party. But anyway, Britain's opposition leader Keir Starmer said that there would be no investment in new oil and gas fields in Britain under a Labour government. Let's see. And no surprise that the Labour Party leads the Tories in opinion polls by a large margin, with the next election expected in 2024. unless something really bad happens. Because the way things are going, you never know. Let's see. Then they talked about the different, everyone's different vision of the future. So I'm not going to go into that because that's pure speculation. That's even more speculation than Keir Starmer because, well, one can hope that they keep their promises. Let's see. The White House is refusing to negotiate with terrorists, hardline Republicans, on raising the debt ceiling because it believes enough of them will eventually back off their demands. That's happened before. As a growing chorus of investors, business groups, and moderate conservatives warn of the dangers of edging towards a default. Or just simply explaining to the wackos in the party that this is money that has already been spent. So basically you're asking for something that won't affect this debt ceiling anyway. So leave it for when budget talks commence, and then try to derail the government rather than, instead of just derailing the government, trying to derail the whole fucking global economy. That's a good start. All right, let's see. A federal judge ordered former President Donald Trump and his attorneys to pay more than $937,000 in sanctions for suing former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton over claims the 2016 presidential election was rigged. All right. Maybe now the Trumpists will finally get a clue that the election wasn't stolen. Actually, this is the 2016 election. This isn't even 2020. So, I don't understand what the problem was with that. Why the 2016 election? Last I checked, she lost that one. I don't know what this is all about. Anyway. For some reason, thousands of abortion opponents plan to rally in Washington today for the 50th annual March for Life. You already got what you wanted. Roe v. Wade has been overturned. I'm not sure what else these people want. And the U.S. Supreme Court, after an 8-month investigation, failed to identify who leaked a draft of its blockbuster ruling. Now, I've heard conspiracy theories that was one of the conservative justices to get one of the moderates to fall in line and rule with them, but there was an explosion of protests against the Dobbs ruling, so I don't see why that would actually help their cause. So I don't know who leaked it, but that's not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. Whether it's one of the justices or a staff member or Ginny Thomas, none of those scenarios sound good. The Supreme Court should not be having these leaks. So, now this I kind of sort of don't understand. Actor Alec Baldwin will be charged with involuntary manslaughter, a felony punishable by prison time, in the fatal 2021 shooting of cinematographer Helena Hutchins while filming the movie Rust in New Mexico. So, now I get the armorer is also being charged with that, and I get that because She done fucked up with with not properly turning the bullet into a blank. But the only thing I can think of with why they're adding Alec Baldwin is it was his production company that hired her because they wanted to cut costs. So they wanted someone who was still green, I guess, because she was cheaper than someone who knew what the fuck they were doing. So maybe that's why, because when as an actor you have to assume that the person who's handing you the gun, that at some point somebody did the right thing and that the gun you're about to shoot is is a blank. Now, granted, also he was aiming for her because I guess that, he was just goofing off, and he claims he didn't even fire the gun, which I guess is possible. Don't know what could have happened to the gun to make it go off, but so maybe it has more to do with it's your production company, stupid. You're the ultimate reason that this happened. I don't know. Because again, as an actor, you assume that the people who are giving you a prop gun and saying that it's a blank, that it's going to be a blank. Let's see here. What else do we have? Okay, let's see. Ukraine said it expected strong decisions from NATO and other countries that are meeting today to discuss whether to send modern battle tanks. And the United States, it was time to dig deeper to help Kyiv confront Russian forces. And yeah, I agree. I do believe that wanting of more tanks by NATO failed. I think I read that on, I heard that on the latest Euronews bulletin before starting this video, which sucks. Maybe NATO again got scared off by Russia stomping their feet like toddlers, demanding that if they don't get what they want, they're going to start a nuclear war. Which, how many times do they have to threaten that before you're like, yeah, we'll call your bluff, do it? You're just going to destroy everybody, not just us. So, way to go. Let's see. And I feel like I'm in Groundhog's Day with this one. People across China crowded into trains and buses for one of its busiest days of travel in years, feeding fears of new surges in raging COVID outbreak that officials say has hit its peak. Didn't we just read this yesterday? Okay. Let's see here. Thousands of protesters in Peru, many from the country's heavily indigenous south, descended on Lima, the capital, angered by a mounting death toll since unrest erupted last month and calling for sweeping change. Now, for those who don't know, the previous president was ousted and the vice president is currently running the country. I can't remember what the purpose of his ouster was. He did something incredibly boneheaded. But I can't remember what. Let me see if I can quickly find that for you. Let's see. I know that they would rather have a snap election rather than just having the vice president running the country. Oh, this is something new. Okay, protesters are demanding the resignation of Boluarte. God, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Snap, which I knew about. That one I knew. Snap elections, that I knew. And a new constitution to replace the market-friendly one dating back to the days of right-wing strongman Alberto Fujimori in the 1990s. That one's new, but all sound good to me. Let's see. They call her an usurper, but was she behind the president's ouster? I don't think so. Here we are. The protests had been sparked by the dramatic December 7th ouster of leftist former president Pedro Castillo after he tried to illegally shutter Congress and consolidate power. Because nothing says nice guy by than doing that. So, I don't know how she's an usurper, though. I mean, I assume that these are people who were his supporters and refuse to believe that he's a twat waffle. But, so I guess that's possible. Let's see. Fire swept through a part of a shantytown South Korean capital, Seoul, destroying 60 homes, many constructed from cardboard and wood, and forcing the evacuation of around 500 people. Well, that sucks. And silly me, I didn't know that shanty towns existed out of South Africa. I thought that was a thing specific to South Africa. Not homeless people. That I know homelessness is everywhere. But the specific term shantytown. But oh well, learn something new every day. Not the way I wanted to learn that, but let's see. Brazil's federal police carried out raids against people allegedly involved in the January 8th storming of government buildings by supporters of former far-right President Jair Bolsonaro. Police said the operation was aimed at identifying people who had participated in, funded, or fostered the riots. And we're 2 years on and we can't even come close to getting the bigwigs involved in it. We're just getting the small fries. The Proud Boys, the other stupid schmucks who were a part of this. All right. So, finally, let's see if there's anything interesting. Meat cultivated from cow cells is kosher, Israel's chief rabbi rules. Now, I had to ask my father, who is an ethnic Jew. Yeah, I guess technically that makes me a Jew, but it's complicated. Why that would have to be deemed kosher, because it's beef. Beef is by nature kosher. It's pork that's not. But he reminded me that there's a ritual slaughtering of meat. And since obviously this artificial meat isn't being slaughtered, that becomes a question. So, I hope that's the reason. Because I didn't read the article. I didn't think it was necessary. So I think I covered everything I wanted to in this bulletin. And, let me know if you like me just quickly going through the headlines and only commenting when I think it's something I could have thoughts on, rather than doing research on one topic and just doing a video on that. So with that, I will see you guys next time.